Hello, and welcome to Summer Biology 160 OL1 Lancaster's class. That's who I am. I am Debbie Lancaster. So, at the beginning of the quarter, I have our extra credit opportunities. The first one is the phone call. A few people have gotten in touch with me. I have them set up for their 15-minute phone calls. These are worth 5 points out of a potential 20 points of extra credit points. If you, and most of you haven't gotten in touch with me, so what you need to do is look at the times that are available in that assignment in Canvas. Pick 4 for me to then fit you in, hopefully your first choice, but maybe not. So yeah, the phone call. Then you have Quiz 0 Parts 1 and 2. The idea here is for you to have your first quiz without the pressure of it counting towards your grade. It is extra credit, and I do want you to take it seriously and study for it, so you will get the full points if you have a certain percentage. I think it's 80% to 100% on part 1. And then it goes down from there. Same thing with part 2. So part 1 is worth 10 points if you get the whole thing, if you get 80% of the questions correct. And part 2 is 5 points. Okay, so those are due this week. Okay, now they're a little different than our weekly quizzes because of the holiday. So they are both due on Sunday at 11:59. So a week from today at 11:59. The rest of your weekly quizzes, your part 1 will always be due on Fridays at 11:59 p.m. Okay, you will have from 8 a.m. to 11:59 to take it. And you will have a 40-minute time interval. When you start the quiz, you are committed. So make sure that you've done everything you need to do to be able to sit down for 40 minutes. Because you have to finish the quiz. You only get one attempt to take it. Okay, and you have 40 minutes, so you need to have studied. This part 1, even here, well, with the quiz 0 and here, is like a test you would take in class, where you would come in with a pencil or markers or whatever, pen, and no book, no notes, no computer, nothing like that. That's what part 1 is. That's your closed book part. And the total is it's worth 50 points. These are 70 points each. And I drop the lowest of part 1 and part 2, and they don't even have to match. Part 2 doesn't have all those restrictions. It'll be more of the essay type questions, and you will turn, look at that, that looks weird, Fridays. Okay. Part 2, you can start as early as 8 a.m. on Friday, and you must turn it in on Saturday at 11:59. Now this is after quiz 0, so quiz 1 through 6. These are all due, part 1's on Friday, part 2's on Saturday, 40 minutes for part 1, whatever you need for part 2. Your final, there's a part 1 and a part 2 to it as well. You will have a longer amount of time to take part 1 because it's worth 100 points instead of 50. And it will be due on Friday at 11:59. So it'll be open at 8 a.m. on that Friday, be due at 11:59 p.m. Unfortunately, so will your part 2. That's because the quarter is over at 11:59 on Friday. So you can't turn in part 2 on Saturday. I wish you could, but you can't, so it's all due. You can't drop the final. I'm going to make up a word. Not droppable. Okay? You can only drop one of these. All right? So, we know then that we have some extra credit. We have weekly quizzes that are in 2 parts and a final. Weekly assignments. The first one is due on Tuesday. That's 2 days from now. Because you can't turn it in on Monday, because that's tomorrow and the quarter doesn't start until tomorrow. After that, the rest are due Mondays at 11:59 p.m. Okay? So you have all day Monday to do those. And I dropped the lowest of them in case you missed some questions. Oh, and what you're going to look for, you're not going to do the study guide, but you're going to look for in the notes, there'll be a 1 and it'll be in parentheses and it'll have a question. And then somewhere else there'll be a 2 and it'll be, and these will all be in bold print, not the questions, but these numbers, so that they're a little more noticeable. But this gets you to look at your notes early in the week for your quiz on Friday. In addition, on Monday, as you look through those notes, you are to turn in 3 questions or request for clarification. And then my goal would be on Tuesday, because these are going to be due Mondays at 11:59 p.m. And then ideally sometime on Tuesday, I'll be able to do this thing and go over, answer the questions that students have asked, or clarify information that students have asked for clarification, so that when you take your quiz on Friday, that is taken care of. Let me check. Yeah, 7 of these. You don't do this the first week, okay? So, starting next Monday. All right, so these help you get ready for your quiz. Then you have weekly discussions. I'm checking my piece of paper here. So, 15 points. And you'll look in the assignments. There'll be a prompt for your discussion. And it'll be in 2 parts. You'll have an initial post. And that is always going to be due on Tuesday at 11:59. In fact, I'm going to take one of the 15 points and make that you turned it in on Tuesday. You won't get that point if it's not turned in. Why do you need to turn your initial post in on Tuesday? That's because you will have responses that are due on Thursday at 11:59. So in order for you to do this part, your classmates have to have done this part. So this is due on Tuesday, this is due on Thursday, and this is weekly. These are weekly units. Mondays, Tuesdays and Thursdays, Fridays. Do you see? So that once you get in the groove, you're there. Okay, hopefully I won't drop this on my foot. I don't have an ideal place to put it. Okay, labs. I didn't write these labs, but I've looked them over and I really like them. And there are 7. And they are worth 30 points each. And I am going to give you an interval of time to complete those. So what I'm hoping is that you will begin on Wednesday. And if you complete everything, turn it in. It's done, okay? Because you don't have anything else due on Wednesday. But if you need a little more time because you work or something's going on, you have until, so the interval to turn it in, interval is Wednesday to the following Monday at 11:59. Okay, 11:59 is just a really important time on Canvas. Okay, so 7 of those. If there are any problems with them, let me know earlier rather than later so that I can help you get them, get your questions answered. Or say, you know what, we'll skip that part of the lab. Again, I didn't write them, so we might skip them. Oh, and we're going to send you kits. And I'm going to, when I get on the computer, I'm going to send you out a message. I need your addresses so we can send you these kits. Okay? So, again, we're in the weekly things. Okay? Then, so it looks like you have something due on Monday, something due on Tuesday, something ideally due on Wednesday, something due on Thursday, something due on Friday, okay, and Saturday. I'm trying to stay away from Sunday. And just because things are due, except for the quizzes, on certain days, that doesn't mean you can't do them earlier. But there's a one-time thing, and it's your fact sheet. And you will pick a biological topic. Okay, you'll pick this biological topic and you will make a fact sheet. And your fact sheet will be pretty small because it will fit on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. In the past, I've had students tell us about certain animals that they thought were really strange or interesting, so they did that. Or even something that they really like, or a disease, or something that goes kind of into the environmental realm. Like, I remember one that was the waste from cruise ships, okay? So you want to make it attractive. I'll put a rubric and give you some more directions because this will be due toward the latter part of the quarter. And in addition to that, so each of you will turn in a fact sheet and each of you will assess or basically grade 4 of them. Instead of me grading them, I'm going to let your peers do that. And I've got a way to make that work. It involves Canvas Messenger. I'll have a rubric for them to fill out so that the grading will be fairly easy. All right, so let me move out of the way. And my husband, who's filming, can let you see all that again if you need it. And you can stop it and write that down if you need to. And then I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I look forward to us starting our adventure tomorrow. All right, bye-bye.